This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
Corey Winfield. You have a rich person's name. Like, you should be a billionaire with the name Winfield. Anyway, call me back, bro.
Still gotta call that guy back. Yeah. 29th of August. The year is 2020. My name is Corey Winfield. This is a 217 Recovery Podcast. And joining me in the studio is Marney Liston. Marney, congratulations.
Thank you.
I know, technically, you're about, because we're doing this at 11:44 p.m., about 15, 16 minutes away from the actual date. But today, though, is 365 days for you that you have not used drugs.
Yeah, exactly. 1 year in 14 minutes. That will be 1 year. I know.
Well, technically, it's because the leap year throws everything off. But, yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
A lot of people say, well, Corey, you just said, since she's done drugs. And, alcohol, of course, was your drug of choice, but we started drinking it all out the window. And, you used other drugs thinking, well, at least it's not alcohol, so that doesn't count. I'm still doing good. And that obviously isn't the answer.
Right.
But, we figured out, and, congratulations. And alcohol, by the way, is a drug. So, congratulations, though. How'd you do it?
How'd I do it? Well, this time, I wanted it. I wanted it for myself. And, it truly is one day at a time. And I know that addiction is something that you never actually recover from completely. It's a daily reprieve, and I'm okay with that. I think it's funny because people use different words, and when they introduce themselves, you notice that. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm Marney, and I'm, an alcoholic, or I'm a person in recovery, or I'm a recovering addict, or I'm a recovered addict. There's all these weird past tense, present tense things where it make people feel differently about themselves, in terms of like what they qualify as at that moment. And I'm okay saying that I'm an alcoholic. I guess it does have kind of a present tense to it. But it's, a disease that I, was diagnosed with. I knew I was it before I was diagnosed with it. But, something that has, given me a lot of challenges and a lot of setbacks, and, made me fall down and get myself back up and fall down again. And here I am today.
Nice. I think tomorrow you should, and I'll leave you alone in the studio, and just if you want, just to tell your story. And I did it when I did my year. I had to have an audience. Mm-hmm. So at the treatment center I was working at, I just did, and that was December 15th of last year is when I kind of told my story. I didn't want to speak at meetings. I didn't want to tell anything until that year. And that was like one of those things that would drive me to keep going. And when I had my year, I told my story in front of a bunch of people, which was pretty cool. But I don't know, if you'd want to, you can, more than welcome. I'll turn on the recorder and walk out, and we don't have to do it like in Spreaker. We can do it in Adobe Audition, and, I can make it to where I take out all the whatevers, or not. I mean, you don't have to do that.
Right. Didn't you set your set up where you were going to do your open talk on your year?
Yeah.
Like 3 months before?
Yeah.
Your year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I promoted it.
Is it a little presumptuous?
No, man. But that was the thing. Like, if I because I made like a flyer, because I was taking Adobe Illustrator class at the college in Petoskey, and like we needed to do projects, and I've been known, I mean, even back in 1996 when I took speech class, and I had to do a demonstration speech. I made it about something I was doing in my life anyway. So like, we had to do this poster, we had to do an ad or like something that would be on a cover of a magazine or in a magazine. So I thought, all right, I'm going to do this. I know I'm going to speak on my anniversary somewhere. I'll tell my story on the podcast, and I'll make a flyer for it, to promote it. And then it was just like one more thing that I didn't want to fail at, so here I go make this flyer and put it all over social media, and I relapse? Nah, I'm only going to let that happen. I have way too much pride for that. And, that's kind of like doing this podcast is one of the tools that I use to keep myself sober. It's something that, like I said, with that pride thing, I don't want to fail. And when I know there's eyes looking at me and there are people listening and they're like, Corey, keep doing your thing, and people who believe in me, that's why I haven't missed a podcast yet. If you can go back and check, go back all the way. And sometimes it might be a little late, but I haven't missed one yet. And I think people would be like, whoa, what the hell? What happened? Like if I missed a blog a month ago, nobody's going to be like, oh my God, what's going on? Is he okay? But if I just stop doing podcasts, people will be like, what the hell, man?
Yep.
So a lot of pride to do with that. But think about it. If you want to tell your story and do that, that's fine. If you want me to make you a nice little poster and you want to pick a date, and if that's what you're hinting at, like maybe we'll do 2 years. Maybe you're 2 years under your belt. You can tell your story. I don't know. However you want to do it, but that's fine with me.
All right. Let me think about it.
Okay. But when you were talking, you said you were diagnosed with being an alcoholic or alcoholism. Severe alcoholic or severe alcoholism.
Severe alcoholism.
Okay, because when you brought that, it was funny because earlier today, a woman signed up for our website to become a member, and her group on Facebook is 45 Recovery Rocks. And there's a group, and I thought, yeah, she liked our stuff, and I'll join their stuff. So I joined it, and there were questions. And it's, I can't remember there was like 3 of them, but one of them said something about, do you think addiction should be treated like any other illness? Or do you think it's a choice? Mm-hmm. And I overthought it, I'm sure, but, I thought,
did you write a book?
No, it's a short novel.
Sure.
But I put on there in that, no, I think addiction should be treated like addiction. I don't think addiction should be treated like all the other illnesses. Addiction is its own, there are problems for myself that I was running from. Some, our brain is weird. It's built to protect us, and it would rather us pick up something that's harmful to our body than to let us feel any danger, any harm. So I think addiction is so much more complex, and it's different for everybody. Whereas if everybody gets a cold, well, you can probably treat it as long as it's the same. I guess that's the flu. But as long as it's the same kind of virus or whatever, you could kind of give some kind of medicine towards it. Or with addiction, what works for you is not going to work for me. There's some things that I can take away from stuff that you've done, or stuff, hear stories that you've gone through that go, yeah, it's a good idea.
I see what you're saying.
Say, go to meetings. Okay, that's a great idea. But for other people, maybe it's just reading the big book, and working the steps for some people. It's different for everybody. So I don't think it should be treated just like any other illness. And I don't know if that's what they meant.
I don't think they were going that route. But I see what you're saying. And the Facebook page or group that you're speaking of, it's hashtag 45 Recovery Rocks. And that's actually started, or our good friend Stephanie, the one who's getting the gear for the area where she works. That's funny you brought that up, Corey. It is. That's so funny? Weird. Yeah. She's awesome, and she's reached out to me. I know her from a different capacity. From a few months ago, she's doing really well. Awesome job, Stephanie. And so I answer those questions as well. And I approach it. I mean, but you'd say the same thing, I think, is about, like, you would treat cancer different than you would treat, you know what I mean?
Gonorrhea or herpes.
Oh, Jesus.
Or whatever.
Why do you gotta go weird places?
I meant like ingrown toenail.
Okay, right. Whatever, I guess. But my point is, but then also, like, different people react differently to different treatments, you know. But you're right. I mean, it is. I see what you're saying in terms of, like, how it's treated. There's different avenues and different pathways and different approaches and focuses that people take, and what works for them to keep themselves, you know, away from drugs and alcohol, you know. And so I think I answered it in that way, is that I think how I felt about it was that alcoholism and addiction needs to have the same respect and, you know, as the severity. I mean, it will kill you. It will kill you. And, you know, there's this, we can swing all the way back around and we can start talking about stigma and how it's a choice, you know, like, you pick up the bottle, you pick up the needle, you pick up the pipe. You know, there's all these things where people are looking at you like, this is in your control. You know, you're not sick.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So, like, you think the question was, but see,
no, I think it can be looked at in different ways, and I don't think there was no right or wrong answer. I
don't know. I haven't been approved to the group.
What?
I know.
I'm gonna have to get on that.
Yeah, you get on that. Something else.
That was way
I
weird.
don't even know who did that. But yeah, so if you're looking at it like, if I go in because, I'm not feeling well, I go to the doctor and they're like, well, Mr. Winfield, you know, here, get up here and sit and take your shirt off. You know how they
and you
always
say,
tell me
I think
that.
I'm
Like,
coming
take your
down.
pants off.
I think I'm coming down with some alcoholism.
Yeah,
I think I caught some alcoholism.
But if I go in there, you know, all like, oh my God, I feel like I'm going to die and I don't want to live anymore. I don't want to feel this way. And, well, you're an alcoholic and you shouldn't drink anymore. Where if I go in like with a cold or whatever, a flu, which technically I would have brought that on myself too by walking around the store, not washing my hands. I mean, not preventing, you know, like not doing the things I need to do to sanitize, you know.
Precautions.
Like, yeah, I mean, I'm not just walking down the street one day and then the flu bug just pops in my nose. I don't think. I'm not a doctor, so maybe it does happen that way. But, you know, there's things that could have been prevented too, you know, but nobody's saying, well, you know what you need to do, you know, oh, Corey, can't believe you're in here again. Got to wash your GD hands. You know, where were you at, Meyer again? Oh, my God. Were you licking the handrail? Yeah, I was. God, you got to stop doing that. Get out of my emergency room, you know, and yeah, I've never been treated like that.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess it should, you know, and that's something that the medical field is just going to have to get used to, and they might not like it, but, you know, until we can come up with a better way. And I think, you know, since Governor Whitmer in Michigan is such a great person, and it was funny, a year ago today on Facebook I posted because she said that she was worried about the health of Michiganders, and, you know, she was going to appoint a task force to take over the opiate crisis, and yeah, I really heard nothing about that since then. But
there's some billboards.
Jesus Christ! Don't tell me that. But you're not lying, probably, and that drives me nuts. You know, they spend money on billboards. Don't drink and drive.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think. I wish I brought my phone in here now. Shame on me. But the little icon on the site or page, it says like you're stronger than you think or something. I believe.
Was it hashtag 45?
Hashtag 45 Recovery Rocks. Yeah,
but
it's I don't know, but it's
should interview her.
Yeah, we should.
You should.
Yeah, Stephanie, do you want to be on our podcast?
One-on-one with Marney. Hard-hitting questions.
No, but
Sexual relationship.
that button needs to be